Hello, my stamping friends. I'm Cindy from Cindy's Creative Cards, and I am so glad that you have dropped by today. I hope that you will enjoy what you see and you'll give me a thumbs up. Um, so let's get started. This is a mini album, and I'm going to show you several. And I'm going to be doing one for Valentine's Day. Now, this little mini album is definitely not something I created or is something new. It is something that you will see all over um, YouTube. Um, However, it is perfect for this time of year and for giving to your Valentine. So, this was the first one I created. You use one sheet of scrapbook paper, and then you make little pockets that you can insert little notes, money, cards, anything that you've pictures, anything that is important to you and the person that you are giving it to. So you can see that it has 7 pages and 7 pockets with 7 little insert or matting board that you can add a picture to, a note to, or you cannot use this and just insert what you choose. It's great though for matting a picture. So I am going to show you today how I made a Valentine's one. This one is the Valentine's one that I've made a few weeks ago. And I want to show you how I did it. I use the Sweet Conversations, I think it is, paper pack, last year's Valentine's paper pack for Stampin' Up. It was available in clearance, although I'm not sure that it is anymore. However, you can use any paper to do this. So I did use that paper. I made it just as I showed you with the other one. Got a little embellishment there that sort of strayed away from the pack. And it has the 7 pockets and the 7 little cards that can go into it. Now, my purpose for this one was to give to my daughter. I'm going to gift it, and I embossed "Love Ya" on the front of this little heart. Because it had all these other little hearts underneath with the little messages, and I wanted to send this message to her. So on the inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to either stamp some of these little hearts with messages, and I'm going to put a couple of photos in here. I'm probably going to put even a gift card. If it will probably stick out just a little, but this can go underneath it and sort of keep it from being so much longer than everything else, and it will still look okay. I may even put in a little bit of money. But anyway, this will be for her. Now, I used the rippled yellow ribbon from Stampin' Up and Stampin' Up's embellishment, the 2021 to 2023, I believe, in color embellishments, along with the Highland Heather cardstock and Pool Party cardstock. And then this paper underneath this heart is just the back of this paper, and it coordinates. But it makes a darling little mini book. So I'm going to show you how to make this little mini book today. So you might be able to make it for your Valentine. So we're going to start out with another sheet out of that pack. Now, of course, you can use any paper that you choose that you like, that you feel will look good inside your book. Now, I've already cut out some of the pieces that we'll be using. I have my cover, which will be the outside part, and it will be the base for the decoration. That's 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 square. Then I cut a smaller heart, a smaller piece of Highland Heather that will go on the front. Then this will go right there on top. And I stamped Happy Valentine's Day. It's the same message from this stamp set. And then I used the mini messages die to cut this out. Now, when I did that, I tried to stamp this where I knew that it was in the placement of all of this, because this is one piece. So when it cut this out, then I cut out all these other white pieces so I didn't ruin a piece of cardstock. So now I have all of these shapes that I can use for stamping sentiments for other cards or projects that I'm doing. Let's see, I'm going to stick this back in its envelope to keep it safe. So then I also pulled out these red rhinestone basic jewels that I think that I will probably put on the front of this. So we'll see once we get to that point. That's toward the end there. I did cut these from this paper. Here's one. Where's the other ones? Right here. And I cut the back of this paper, and then I backed it with Highland Heather and cut that out. And I cut this Bermuda Bay heart and backed it with Bermuda Bay cardstock. So I just went ahead and I have those ready for the front. This is 2.5. I want to make sure before I tell you. Yes, these are 2.5 inch square pieces to go into the pockets. Now, I rounded all of these, and I have, this will be 7 here. I did not round this one because I wanted to show you how I did that. I used this crocodile corner chomper. It really is a powerhouse. It just, like the Ever Ready battery, you use it and it just keeps right on going. And this is the side that I use. This is a bigger corner, wider corner than this one. This is the smaller one. And this is a 1/4 inch corner rounder, and this is the 1/2 inch. And I use the 1/2 inch. So I was just going to show you how I did this. It is so simple, you hardly even have to think about it. So there we have all of these ready to go. Okay, then this opens up right here. And it's hard for me because my fingernails are so thin and fragile. But this opens up right here like that. And then you dump this, all of those pieces out, and then you're ready to go. And you can punch quite a few before this gets full. Okay, now I'll get rid of the little pieces that I missed. And the other thing we'll be using is the 1-inch circle punch. This was a Stampin' Up! EK punch. And we'll be using that to create the little finger pull for the card there. And now when I made this one, I did each of these in 2 different ways as far as putting it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I put this one together, which is even different than that. We also will be using this Playful Pets ribbon that was on clearance. It came with some red and white twine maybe, or black twine. I'm not sure if it's still there or not, but that's what we're going to be putting around the cover in order for it to tie when we get finished. Okay, so here we go. I have my 12 by 12 piece of DSP, and I am going to see if you can see this because we have a lag here. I'm going to make a cut. No, I'm not. I'm going to score it at 3, at 6, and at 9. Okay, then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing again at 3, and 6, and 9. Okay, so then I'm going to turn it back where the direction is correct as far as the orientation is concerned. And I am going to, let's see, I don't know if it's easier. No. I am going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to score up to that first line. Then I'm going to start here, and I am going to score down to this first line. Then I will go from here and score up to this first line, and I will have an M or a W with the paper when I get finished. Let's see if I can figure out where that score line is. It's sort of hard to see. There we go. I'm going to turn that off for just a second. Okay, so I'm going to score up to this line. I'm going to scoot it over to the next score line, and I am going to score to this first line. Then I'm going to scoot it over to the next score line, and I'm going to score up to the first one again. Now, you will have an M, or it could be a W, depending on how you look at it. So we're going to leave it in this orientation, and I'm going to slide this out of the way. Okay, now with this paper, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to be precise in my folds, but I'm going to start, and I'm going to fold this up to meet this score line. And I'm going to use my bone folder. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay, I'll fold it back till it meets the score line. The score lines are not, I didn't push down hard because I didn't want to tear my paper, but the score lines are hard to see and to work with. So then this one will go this way, and it's going to go there. And then I turn my paper, and I'm going to go this way, making sure that my lines are in the right place, and that I'm folding as precisely as I can. Now, it's very hard sometimes to get this to be precise. And as you can see, there's a little bit folding over there, but not enough for it to be a problem. Okay. We go back down. Now, everybody that makes this will use this pattern for the fold of the paper. But when you start putting it together, that's where the differences come in. Because not everybody can do it the same way. And when I say the word can, I'll tell you why. I followed someone making this to do this one, and I did not have the least problem at all. I folded it, I punched it, I put my cards in, and there was not an issue. But when I did this one, I had to really work and think at it, and I got it together without any problem. But I did a third one, and I just totally messed it up, totally. And I'll show you in a minute what I mean by messing it up. Because you have to glue certain sides and punch on a certain side in order for it to be right. Now I'm going to put this toward me. Well, this is the other side. Let's do it this way, where the pattern, well, the pattern's not that way. Let's do it this way. This one is going to be attached to the cover, so I'm not going to do anything to this one. But I do want to have my opening on this left side right here. So what I'm going to do is take my glue, and I'm going to glue here. And I'm just running a bead of glue like this. So I'm going to glue that together. Okay, and before I go any farther, I know that my opening is here because I've glued this and this up. I'm going to go ahead and punch. And this will help me to keep track of where to glue. So now I've got my opening here. This page is going to open here. So I'm going to have to glue right here along this side and down this side. Okay. So I'm going to glue that. See, did it get it? Okay. And then I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to punch. Okay. Now I want to come back over here and have this be where I'm going to have an opening. So I'm going to glue here. And I'm going to glue here. So I'm going to push that down. Now, get rid of the excess glue. Okay, so I've got one here and here. This one should open here and be clear. That's right. So I'm going to punch this. Now, this one will open here. So you can see you're gluing in different places each time because of the way the paper has been turned. Okay, so I'm going to press down there. And I am going to punch my hole here. Okay, so now we want this side open. So I'm going to have to glue here. And here. Press that down. And since I have the opening here, I'm going to punch here. Now, you could have done this where you have your opening all in the same place. But what happens with that is that it's then it's hard to get your little pieces out. So now I want it to be here. So I'm going to glue here. Now, you may not think that this would be very confusing to a person putting this together. However, it can be. Like with me trying to put that other one together, I made a mess out of it, had to redo it. And it was live, but I ended up deleting that video because it was just such a mess. I mean, I had such a hard time. I've seen people where they lay the paper flat on the opposite side, and they make notes to themselves on the opposite side so they can get the glue in the right place. I've seen people open it up and have the back side toward them and put tearing tape so they will not have an issue. And this just ended up being what was easiest for me. Now, what we've got here, we've got this, hey, a silky girl. You can't do that right now. Okay, stay right there, baby. Sorry about that. You have an opening here, the opening here, here, and here, here, and here, and here. Now, when I did it that way, it was so easy for me to put it together. So now what we're going to do is we are going to attach the cover. Now the cover is 3 1/8, so there's going to be a little bit left over. And the way I did that, well, there's a little more than I intended there. 3, let's see what this is. 3, oh, I did a little more than 3 1/8. I did 3 1/4, so I'm going to cut it to 3 1/8. And that's 3 1/8. Make sure they're the same size. They are. And now when I put this flush like that, there's just that little bit of a lip all around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put glue all over this. Get around the outside so we make sure to stick there. Then we're going to lay this down. And I want to make sure that I put it where there is that little lip, and I've got it the wrong way. Well, we'll leave it that way. And then I will just cut this off. It's like I didn't make it square, so I'm going to trim that just a bit. Okay, so now, and then we're going to put this one on. And that looks the right size. So I'm going to open this up and put this all over this outer page because I want to make sure that it sticks. Okay, same size. No, that's a little bit longer. So I'm going to cut a sliver off of that. I didn't make this square for some reason. Okay, so there we have our cover. All right, so the next thing I wanted to do is we're going to be putting down this piece. And it is going to cover a good part of that. I'm going to cut just a little off of that. 1/8. A sliver, actually. It's not even 1/8. To where we have a little more. And I think I'll do it again. And I'll tell you the measurements of this in just 1 second. So this should be now, it is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So yes, I like that better. So I'm going to glue this down. Now for this part, you could use your tape runner. I would not advise doing it for your pages because then you'd have sticky tape that your cards would encounter and it wouldn't go in or come back out. Plus, it would not hold your pages together as well. Now, let's see. This is the top. Well, look at that. I just did it upside down. When I did it on this side, look at that. Okay, so what we're going to do is get another piece of Highland Heather, and we're going to put it on the front. And I think it was 2, 3 7/8. Let's see. That just goes to show you got to pay attention to what you're doing here. 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to cut this at 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And I've got all kinds of little slivers here that need to be put away. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here so my front and my back will be the same. I'm not going to decorate the back any more than this little piece of cardstock. And it's fine that it's there because it just makes it uniform. All right, so now I got that on the back, this on the front. This is the first page, and we've got it in the right direction. Okay, so now I took a piece of this another piece of this cardstock, and I cut it out, and I backed it on the red cardstock, and that's what I'm going to put right here. But before I do, I need to glue down my ribbon. And so I've halved it here, and I'm going to just run a bead across like that, halfway across. And I'm going to lay it down and try to get it as straight as possible, and then just blot that off. Then I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to run it from here to there. And then I'm going to lay this one down like that. Now, I'm just going to give it a minute, blot off the excess glue, and just give it a second to dry. And turn it back over. Okay. And it'll be dried by the time we finish what we're doing. But I do need to just give it a minute or two. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on this. So this is what is going down next. And that's going to go right in the center over that ribbon, and it will help to keep that ribbon in place. Now, you could even have put it underneath the Highland Heather layer, but I wanted it to be visible. So I left it, that's why I left it out. Okay, Now I have these pieces that I went ahead and I cut out and I backed. And I'm going to put these in some form or fashion here across the front, because this is going to be my decoration. So this is going to be the first one. So I'm going to put it right here, like that. I think I'm then going to use this one, and I'm going to put it over here since that one is there. And I'll put this one here, like that. Put that one right there. Then this one might even have needed a dimensional. Okay, because this is on 2 layers of cardstock here, this one and this one stacked, it's sticking up right here. So what I'm going to do is show you what I do in a case like this. Okay, I'm going to get a little strip of white or any kind of colored cardstock, but since it's going to be lifted up, I'm going to use white. My little snips. Now it's going to take about that much. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down to this. Let's try it this way. Now that's going to be 2 cardstock layers and 1, 2, 3 DSP layers. So I'm going to do one more. Now, I probably could have put a dimensional under there, but at the time, I didn't think the dimensional was that high. I mean, high enough for a dimensional. Now, if you don't have dimensionals, this is what you can do. Okay, and we'll put this up underneath here. And then I've got to put glue on that side. And I think it's already on the other side. Now, there you go. It holds it in place just like a dimensional would. Okay, so I've got my decorations, and then I decided I wanted to put this right across the front like that. So I'm going to put glue here. Put this down like that. Okay, and I'm liking that. And then I have these embellishments, the red rhinestone basic jewel embellishments. And I am going to pull this out, and I think we can put a few of these laying around. Use my pick it up tool. And I'm going to get this one and put, come on, seems to be a little piece of thread here. Let's see. We definitely need one. Let's put one over here, the pink. And let's put one right there. Okay, there's more space here than there is up there. And that just slid over. Let's slide it back. Come on, you can do it. There. Well, the adhesive seems to have come off, so I'm going to put a little dot of glue right there. And we'll lay this down. Okay, and that seems to be some of the adhesive right there. and it wants to be aggravating. But I'll be able to get that off. I'll work on that in a little bit. I can take my little eraser tool to it and it'll come up. Okay, so now we have the front of it done. And I like that. And I think that will be really cute for Valentine's Day. So here are my little matting board. And for part of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this and I'm going to attach little hearts that have messages on the inside for my husband. So I'm going to slide that in here. Make sure they all fit. One here. One here. And it really does help to have this right here. Your finger, place for your fingers to pull those cards. Now you could decorate the pages if you chose. However, if you did that, it's going to add more bulk to your little book. So I think the best bet is to decorate your little mats. Of course, you do it however you want to, since it'll be your book. So, and here we go. I'm going to tie this up. See if I can get this bow through here with my numb fingers. Okay, here we go. Right, and I didn't have to use as much ribbon as I did, but I wanted to make sure. So I'm just going to cut some of this off. And there we go. We have our little Valentine booklet that I'm going to fill all full of all kinds of things for my husband. And then, of course, here's this one that I'm going to be giving to my daughter. So this one I made just for me. So I'm going to just put memorabilia in here, little pictures that are important to me. I think I'm going to carry this in my purse. So you can do anything you want as far as your decorating is concerned. Like I said, you could do all your pages opening up at the top if you chose, or on the side if you chose. It's all entirely up to you as to what you do with your little book, but they are so cute, so easy to make when you use a method that works for you to put it together. So I hope that you will try making one, that you will see how much fun it is to do and how you can store important little things in there, like maybe a movie ticket if you go to the movies on Valentine's Day, maybe a piece of your candy wrapper if you get candy for Valentine's Day, things that are important to you that you want to remember in years gone by. Okay, I want to say that celebration is still going on. It only happens now one time a year. They've just added some new celebration items for you to choose from. So go and check those out and take advantage of the free items that you can get during this period. And if you wanted to, you can also choose one of the three options for joining. I would always love to have a new team member. And if you would like to join my team, Cindy's Creative Crafters or Stampers, I would love to have you join us. We have so much fun. We work together, we learn together, and we share. And that's what it's all about. I thank you for joining me, whether it is during now, or well, it won't be now because I'm recording, but whenever you decide to join me, it will be available in YouTube. And if you do want one of these pre-made, I can make one of these for you. You just need to contact me at cindyscreativecards.com. My email is cindy@cindyscreativecards.com, and you can let me know what you would like, and I can do a custom order. I'm adding things to my store now, my online store, my personal online store, with some retired items in there as well, daily. So often I will add in a card or project that I have made on a YouTube live or recording. I will add that to my store for purchase. So check that out. I would really appreciate it. I appreciate your support. I hope you have a wonderful evening or day or wherever it happens to be when you're watching. And until I see you again, then dream, create, and share. Thank you. Bye bye.